Okay, continuing in the halachas of chayla sheyesh by sakana. So we are up to Tzadi Bey Sif Gimel, and we're going till the end. Right? I think we're going to the end. You said Yud? Yeah, Yud's till the end. Okay, so in Raifa Bucky, the Raifa is a Bucky. Afilu hu akam, even if it's a guy, a Shar Maven, or somebody else who understands medical things. And he says, even though right now he says, but if you don't do the refuah to him now, perhaps the chayil is going to weigh down on him, and he's going to sakana. Even if the chayil says he doesn't need it, we listen to the Raifai, Mechal and the Shabbos, and he's Mechal, we're Mechal the Shabbos. And if the Raifai says, if you don't do this, he's definitely going to die. And if you do it, then it's possible that he'll live. Then, of course, Mechal and Gamkin, it's a Shabbos. We also are Mechalal, we're Mechalal the Shabbos. Am I frozen? Can anybody hear me?
I hear you loud and clear.
I hear you fine all the way here.
Okay, so it must be my screen is freezing up. I don't know.
Yeah, I see
Okay.
your screen freezes, but
the voice is good.
Through. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Dalid. Kol maka shebifnim haguf. Any maka that's inside the body. Anywhere from the mouth on inside. V'gam shinayim b'chlal, and the teeth are included. V'ino kilkul shemachos maka ebua kayotze. Some sort of damage that's from a cut or an abscess. Mechal was the Shabbos. We are Mechal Shabbos ve'enet tzarich aymin, and it doesn't need any sort of evaluation. Shafilu ein sham bekiyim. Even if there's no bekiyim there, v'chayla ein aymer klum, and aymer klum, and the chayla is not saying anything. You do everything that you do in the weekday, meaning anything internal, from the mouth on down. So I don't know canker-sores. I'm not sure how that would work. Well, I guess based on this sentence, that answers it. But I'm saying, let's say you wouldn't know. But if you know that, just say it's just a canker sore, and you know how to deal with it, and you can't be mechal. And just pain is also not called a makkah. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know where a canker sore comes in, because that's clearly a makkah. Right, but again, it would depend on how much pain it is. And anybody has a toothache, and is very pained, till his whole body is being affected by it. It's mutter to tell it to a guy to take it out. You can have the guy remove the teeth. Hey, let's say you have a cut that's on the back of the hand or on the back of the foot. Any maka with metal, which brings in the tetanus issues. So let's say you have some sort of shchin and the rectum. I don't know if that's hemorrhoids or not. Somebody who swallowed a leech, or a wild or a stupid dog, or a wild dog bit him, or anything that crawls in the dirt. Even if you're not sure whether the bite will kill or not, somebody has a big headache, a fever. But for the regular fever, you do through a guy. So this is a very common question. Get asked this every Friday. Baby has fever, adult has fever. They want to take their temperature and the problem is you don't have the mercury thermometers anymore. You have only digital. So the question is, can you get that? You can activate the digital thermometer. I personally tell them, based on what doctors told me, is you give them medication. If the medication drops the fever, then there's no reason to check the temperature, because that means it's working. But if the fever spikes through the medication, then you have a problem. That's a basic rule of thumb. Let's say somebody is bleeding, right? But it means a internal bleeding, like clotting maybe. So makiza noisem yad. So what you do is you try and get that blood clot out. Now what happens is when you let out blood, so they get cold. And then you're allowed to make them a fire to heat up with it. Even in the summer, even when it's tammuz, because that's all considered chayla. If somebody has a problem with both his eyes, or one of them has mucus, or that types of liquids coming out of it, or blood is coming out, or anything else that's a sakana to the eye, if a chayla that's b'sakana needs meat, yesh kan basar aser, and he has basar that's aser. So this ties into today's daf a little bit. And he has basar aser, sheichet and avurai. Then you can shech to him. Ve'en machilin oser basar aser. You don't feed him treif. Why? Even though they're both isurim, mishum techashin and shemek is vada loy shechilu oser basar aser. When he finds out that they're feeding him basar that's also yakutz, but he's going to be disgusted by it. He's not going to eat. But in a place where there's no chashash that he's going to be disgusted by, going to katan or shedaitem terefes, he's a katan or his das is all messed up, so he's not really thinking straight. So machilin oser basar aser bein sheichten avure b'Shabbos. Then we feed him that basar and we don't shecht on his behalf on Shabbos.
What bracha does he make on the chazer?
He's got to make a shahakol, as far as I understand. Yeah, I think. Right? Tess. If somebody cooks on Shabbos for a chayla, then you need to. It's also for somebody healthy to eat it. But on Motzei Shabbos mutter miyad, gam lebari and bishul yisrael. On Motzei Shabbos it's mutter immediately, even to a healthy person, if it was cooked by a yid. So meaning on Motzei Shabbos it becomes mutter. Yud. Misha writes in last la'enois oisoi sheyavra avera lefisha. Let's say they want to force a person to do an avera, but a temporary thing, meaning they're not trying to make him into a guy. They just want it to be an avera. They're trying to get their kicks out of it. Afilu hi avera chamura, even if it's a chomer dik avera, ain't mechalan of Shabbos because they latzilam in avera. We're not mechal. We're not mechal Shabbos in order to save him. Meaning, you hear what he's saying. The point is the guy holds a gun to a guy's head and says, "Eat chazer." Now you could save the guy, but the only way you could save him is by shooting the guy. Right? You don't shoot the guy. Right? You don't have to be machal Shabbos in order to save somebody if you're doing an avera. If you want to save his life, fine, but he could save his own life by eating the treif. It's a very interesting stock. It plays into how you lahamir as hadas oleitziyim b'klal Yisrael. But if they're trying to force him to eat or to do something to make him into a not religious Jew, afilu hu katan or katana, even if it's a katan katana, chiv hu al kol mashem yadei, the chiv is on everything. The chiv is he has to do whatever he can l'shtadol latzilo to try and save him. Afilu tzarich l'chal Shabbos b'isura deraisa, even if he needs to be mechal Shabbos isur deraisa. G'nashim mechuyam l'chal Shabbos b'shvil chayla sheyesh b'sakana. The same way you're mechuyev mechal Shabbos, even for a chayla shem b'sachana. The siv v'sham b'nei Yisrael as Shabbos. It says you have to keep Shabbos. Amra Torah chilul of Shabbos achas kadesh yishma Shabbos es harbe. Be mechal many Shabbos in order to keep many Shabbos. Vafilu imhu safik im toil shtadlus alay. And even if you're not sure if the shtadlus is going to work, mekamakam chayam l'chal Shabbos l'shtadl b'chol ma de'efsher. You chayv to mechal Shabbos as much as you can. The same way when Mechal Shabbos for Safik Kuach Nefesh. But if somebody's a Pesheya and he wants to go off, because he's doing it himself. Meaning the first case is talking about where other people are going to like kidnap them to bring him to the church or whatever. But here, he himself is going off the derech. So then you're not Mechal Shabbos Issa Daraisa. The Kimin Shapasha, since he's the one that's being negligent, we don't tell somebody, and this comes up a lot in the Kiruv world, we don't tell somebody to do a chet in order that your friend should be zaycha, meaning like we don't allow, at least the pashtus is we don't allow a kiruv guy to go into a bar where there's pritzes or whatever it is, and he's going to be over on the Isser just because he can maybe do kiruv.
Rav David Grossman, the disco rabbi. You know who David Grossman is?
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
He did.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know. I can't speak for him. But in Issa D'Rabbanon, like to go out of the tchum, and to ride on a horse, to go in a wagon, to take money, then there are makilim to save him. So this comes up also when people want to invite irreligious Jews for Shabbos. So, and they're going to drive on Shabbos. So we don't let them drive. But there is this heter out there where, based on Rosh Zalman, where if they come before Shabbos and you offer them a place to sleep, then if they decide to leave, that has nothing to do with you, and it's okay. The shaila is, what about if they're just going to be over on D'Rabbanan? Let's say they have a Tesla. So they'll drive to you with a Tesla, or they'll take a train, which only entails the Rabbanans at the most. So they should be able to come on Shabbos because we're trying to save them, and they're only being over on Isur de Rabbanan. But I'm not sure. Okay, we will stop there. Everybody should have a fine night and a good vach and a good yah.